Okay, today it's time to diagnose some audio. I didn't want to do this, but I'm kind of tired of not having radio. Anyway, the problem is with this, it says DC error when you turn it on. And it could mean anything depending on what head unit you guys use. But it basically means there's a direct current, or I don't know, short to ground basically. That's what I could look up online. So to eliminate, maybe this being the cause of it, I unplugged the stereo wires. And it had no DC error. It worked fine, other than not playing music, obviously. So that means there's definitely something wrong to the wiring or to the speakers that's causing a short to ground. So what we gotta do is figure out which one is causing the issue, and luckily I just happened to find this old son of a bitch that somehow still works. I don't know, it's still got power. Anyway, what I'll do is just try the resistance. Now this one, it's pretty simple if you look at the wiring on it. Basically you got the positive and negative stacked on top of each other, along with where the prod is on the side there. You can kind of figure out which wires are going where. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my little probes on the end of those and just kind of check for the resistance. Up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. It might be different for your cars. Basically, you just gotta look at the wires and the two in plugs and figure out which, posts go where. Otherwise, I guess you could just undo where you got your connections and test the wires like that way. It's all the same idea, really. And from there, I guess we'll have to figure out which ones are bad. So, put it to ohms. You see it says open. Then when you put it down there, it's going to be closed. Well, I can only do this, so much for you guys. Basically, you connect the wires. There you got the resistance. So, yeah, we'll figure out which one is freaking doing the problem for us. Well, something I learned is each and every single one of those wires is all the same. What the hell is this thing doing? Just spins around? Okay. I don't know how this thing even still works. It's been sitting in a basement for I don't know how many years. Probably 10 years, and the battery's still working, that thing? Damn. Yeah, the thing's off. But, yeah, they all have the same exact resistance. Okay. And they all got continuity and all that. So, well, that just pretty much throws me into a loop. So I figured something would be different, but according to that, they're all the same. Now, you could say, I guess, that could be wrong, which it could be, but this, something ain't right, for certain. See, it's playing all fine, but as soon as you hook it up, it goes off, so... And I just tested all the circuits on there a few times just to make sure, and there was no difference between any of them. So that might just actually clue in the fact that there's actually something wrong. And I know the speakers are all good because they're just brand new speakers. This head unit, though, is a few years old, so maybe it is just biting the dust for some stupid reason. Here, I'll plug it in, and then it'll say DC error. I'm going to have to put two hands on this, guys, so excuse me for ruining the video for you again. Hear the speakers pop in the back, and DC error. The only thing I can do is just maybe take a look at the speakers, because you can hear them pop. I don't know if you heard it, but they definitely pop. It could be because I also have more bias towards them in the settings here. See if I can do that again. So you can definitely hear it pop in the rear speakers, but that's it. What you're hearing is music. I don't think it's copyrighted, so it's so fine to hear it, but I'm testing in a different manner altogether since the multimeter really didn't give any clues. But what I'm doing is actually putting wires together like that. All that is just simple soldering wire, and I'm just going between the terminals. Interestingly enough, the very first two wires, the green ones, I had DC error, so That speaker works though. So what I'm going to do is just kind of go through them all and kind of check it, but I might have already found the problem. So, just another method of doing it. Although it's really more old school, so I don't know why that didn't catch anything. Probably should turn it off, save the 10-year-old batteries. But yeah, pretty simple, just plug it in that way. With some soldering wires, you don't have to worry about electrocution at all. See? You can touch it and it doesn't electrocute you. Because the electricity will go through the path of least resistance. Kind of interesting stuff to look up on, so yeah, time to go through all these and check it all out. Alright folks, I found my problem. Again, DC error, it's these first two wires. Every other speaker you'd be able to listen to music through, so it's just that one, so it was sounding rough. It's the one back there. So, at least it wasn't this one because I already had that door apart today. And if we look at it, it'll say somewhere left rear. Left rear. My left rear speaker. I don't know if that's looking... Yeah, it'd have to be on the driver's side, right? It's all a matter of perspective. Alright. I opened up my panel, took a look at the speaker wires. They're connected. I don't see any short to ground there. Just to be sure, I actually clipped them apart. So the speaker was taken out of the equation altogether. And I still got DC error, so that can only be one thing. And I rechecked the wiring again by jumping, and sure enough, you can mix the fucking terminals together. The speakers would work and everything, but every time you go to that wiring, specifically to that speaker, I would get DC error even with the speaker disconnected. So that only means one thing, and it's the worst case scenario. The wiring somewhere is worn out and it's grounding to the chassis. So the only way to fix that is to literally, you know what that means. You have to go through and take the whole damn wire out, basically. Or trace the whole damn thing and figure out where it's gone bad at. Which could be anywhere and pretty much requires complete disassembly of everything till you find it. I found the flashlight, it was right there in front of me, but I'll show you what I'm talking about now that I got some light for you. See where that wire's pinched at? And I'm absolutely certain that's the same one because I'm following it, and there's my two wires. And they pinch right up there and they go back down anyway. So that's probably been like that for so long, and eventually it rubs right through and starts contacting the chassis right there. And that is why I keep getting DC error. I'm hoping that's the problem at least, because otherwise I'd have to dig the entire pathway to the head unit looking for wherever it's bad at. And I don't want to do it. Simple as that. So I'm looking, and everything seems to be pretty much attached as one whole piece. So just to even lift this up out of the way would pretty much require me to unbolt everything. What I could try is just try to get a couple around here and see if I can't lift the whole thing up. Looks like we got like rubber kind of protectors protruding over here. Not sure what that's supposed to be. Insect vermin. Anyway, I could try seeing if I can yank it. The wire's already probably damaged. I'll see what I can do. Okay, good pull. Get that out of there. Yeah, that's one pinched fucking wire. I don't see. Actually, yeah, I think I do see it. That would be the short to ground, I believe. Well, fixing this should be pretty simple. I'm going to take out all this electrical tape, separate the wires, and then I think I got some shrink wrap around here I can just pull out, and we can shrink wrap these wires. Basically, it adds a new kind of insulation to them. I don't think there's any need to cut out the spot yet, although we could just cut it out and reconnect the wires that way too. So hopefully that's my problem. Oh, I hope so. Well, think we found our problem. Just to be sure, I laid it off carefully. There's a faint little mark in that wire, just enough to get contact with the chassis, and that was causing the DC error. So I just gotta tape up, repair that wire, put it back in there in a nice secure way, reconnect my stereo wire, throw everything back together, and I got radio again, just like that. Should be sure this one ain't grounded all like that. Yeah, see this one, that one doesn't have it. So all that, just for that little mark on the wire in here, right there. Barely see it, just that little mark will screw over your radio. I cut that wire too, that's gonna be a pain in the butt to hook up. But I'm pretty happy that's where it was. As you can see, it's all connected back together. No more DC error. All the hooked up speakers are working fine. I'd say we've successfully tracked down the problem and fixed the issue. This music probably won't be copyrighted. I hope not. That would suck. But yeah, that's a manufacturing mistake made 30 years ago. Finally making its presence known. So that would be a good old AMC for you. You gotta give it a little bit of your blood every now and then to make sure it stays running good. But it's worth it. I'm not gonna get rid of this car at all. So hopefully that gives you guys some insight on about DC error, you know, how to track it down. I'm surprised the multimeter didn't get it. I think the multimeter might be a little off because it gave me the same readings through all those plugs. Shut this off for it. Whoop. Wrong way. I think this thing might have been off. It's just not reading right or something. I don't know. It gave me the same readings of resistance across all the wires. Not sure how to explain that one. But you saw the test where you just basically take little pieces of wire, something that's conductive, and you jump the bridges manually and just kind of go through and cycle it all. And that's where we figured out, hey, it's that speaker that's having a problem. Power seats still work. But yeah, you just, well, first off, I would recommend using a multimeter, setting it to ohms, and then you can test for whichever one has, you know, brain fart, obviously lowest resistance, because that would mean it's got like no resistance, it's grounding too soon compared to the other wires. Basically the lowest number is what you're looking for, right? But they gave me the same number reading through every single one, so that didn't help. So if you're finding your kind of scenario where you don't have this, or maybe yours is not working, or you're not really getting anything, get a little piece of a couple wires and jump the bridges manually across your terminal there, and you'll figure out which one is giving you problems then. If not, you're still having kind of weird problems, another thing you could try doing is looking for a reset button on your actual head unit, because sometimes these will go out bad and you'll spend so much time trying to figure out which wire has gone bad, and it's sometimes internal. That's why I tried disconnecting the speaker wires first, and this thing was functioning normally, just no power going to speakers. You connect it back to the speakers and then you got DC error, so something's wrong over there, I'm figuring. Test all the wires individually, you know, even have to hook up the head unit to the wires individually till you find which one's messing you up, and then you trace the problem to the speaker. You take the speaker out of the equation by disconnecting it, because, you know, sometimes it might be the speaker itself. Once you've done that, you're still getting a problem, and then you gotta start the big process. Luckily I found mine super soon. It's a lot to do, yeah. But basically just kind of follow those kind of steps and you should be good. Anyway, I think I'll conclude the video here. I don't think you need to really see me try throwing everything back together here. So thanks for tuning in on my channel, and see you next time, I guess, whenever I make a video.